Welcome! You're listening to Making Relationships Work. We're a company focused on women and their marriage. We lead and teach women just like you how to grow into and access, whenever you need to, your wise woman's self. The part of you who is deeply connected to your purpose, your innate wisdom, and your husband and family. We teach women in marriages how to rebuild trust and connection, to work through conflicts, no matter how deep, no matter how painful, and to lead your marriage to a place where the two of you experience marriage mastery. This podcast is about learning the systems and techniques that truly work to reconnect you back into your marriage so that you can experience the freedom that comes with a masterful marriage. Since this podcast is totally free, if you're getting tons of value and you want to support us and make sure that you get more of this good stuff, subscribe below and rate and review our podcast today. Now, on to the show. Hello, Women Making Marriages Work, and hello if you're watching us on our Making Relationships Work podcast or our Making Relationships Work YouTube channel. It's really lovely to be here with you. Welcome to the new year. Now, what I thought we could do today is have a different conversation around setting yourselves up for success this year. And it will be different in that I don't teach the normal kinds of ways. We take a look at planning, we take a look at creation, we take a look at legacy in terms of how you set your goals in a different way. And so I thought I'd take what I'm teaching my clients at the moment and bring it to you so that you can benefit from that experience. And before we do, we must start with where we are. And so you may be here because things in your relationship aren't the way that you want them. They're not the way that you dreamed they would be. Perhaps there's a big physical distance between you as you sleep on opposite sides of the bed, far on the edge of the bed with this vast landscape in the middle. Perhaps you have more of an emotional distance that you experience, and you have that through this sense of kind of being unzipped. I often think about a relationship at the beginning when you're like this. You've met each other, you're delighted to be with each other. It's kind of like you've had a zip that zipped the two of you up like that. And over time, and with unresolved arguments and with pain points that never get kind of worked through or resolved, where there's no relief, then what happens is we become unzipped until there's this void, there's this gap. And if you're here, then chances are you are somewhat unzipped as it pertains to you and your significant other. And so I'm going to assume that that's the space we're working in tonight, because it's important to get clarity around where you are and where you want to go. You can't just start kind of haphazardly throwing out ideas. Oh, I want this and I want that. Those are the kinds of promises, the empty promises that you get sold when you are kind of consuming mainstream media. It's like, get fit and lose weight and drop 3 bikini sizes. And that is not going to work for you. You know that, I know that, the people who sell that know that, but they capitalize on the frenzy of focusing on self and goals that comes with the beginning of a new year. And so I want you to be able to capitalize on that experience and that energy, but instead of creating something or setting a goal that only lasts a few months because it's really not in alignment with who you are, I want to teach you about how to set a goal or a series of goals that will allow you to have access to those drivers that get you moving towards them every single day, every single week, every single month, so that when I meet you back here this time next year, you will say, aha, I know what she's talking about, because I do a goal kind of conversation most years in here. And I want to do it differently again this year. And so when we're setting goals, and I'll use this relationship example. So when we're setting goals and we are in that creation space of I'm here, I'm unzipped, I want to get to here, and I want to be partially zipped or fully zipped back up with my loved one, then what we have is a finite goal. You can see what the measurement is. And we need to know what success looks like here. So this is where clarity is really super important. We need to know where you are. So you need to write me a list of adjectives that describe what it feels like to be you in your relationship right now. So it might be lonely, it might be this sense of aloneness, this sense of vulnerability, this sense of anger or frustration or jealousy. You might feel afraid or scared, wondering what the future holds. You might wonder, can I do this? Can I stand on my own 2 feet and do something different that allows me to reconnect and zip back up with my friend? They're some of the words that might describe what it feels like to be you. And so what I want you to do is to pause me and write yourself a paragraph around where you are today. And when you've unpaused me and we're ready to go, we're going to create the dream. We want to put some words around what it now feels like to be you in 12 months' time. And so different words that might fit here are connected, in love, lots of physical affection, lots of emotional intimacy, lots of physical intimacy, closer in bed when we sleep, touching feet for connection before we go to sleep, holding hands at night, sitting on the couch watching a movie every week, cuddled up, date nights that happen regularly. Whatever it is for you that means that you have zipped yourself back up and it feels warm and connected and safe, where there's a level of commitment, a level of satisfaction, a level of knowing each other and feeling known and understood. Whatever that looks and feels like for you, I want you to pause me and write for me a paragraph around what that is. Okay, so now what we've got is we've got the paragraph about what it feels like now, a paragraph about what the dream is, and now what we have is a set of goalposts. So we start here and we want to finish here. And so what we need to do is to break it down into 12 months. So what needs to happen in order for you to get from here to here? And so why don't we have a go at nutting out what January might look like? It might look like noticing and appreciating your friend. So 5 times a day, you think of 5 new ways you can tell your husband, we call them friends in here. You can tell your husband, your friend, your partner, this is how I feel about you. Or thank you for taking the bins out. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the way that you kiss me hello in the morning. I love it. Thank you for being a great dad to our kids. I really know how much they love you and I appreciate the way you show up for them. Thank you for vacuuming. Thank you for hanging up those clothes. I appreciate that you mowed the lawn for us today. I appreciate that you picked up the groceries for us today. Thank you. Thank you for going to work. Thank you for being a reliable source, a resourceful, dependable kind of guy. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. So you might give yourself the goal of doing that 5 times a day, 3 times a day, whatever it is for you. And you might then take that idea and expand it to a whole lot of other things that will allow you to get from here to here. That's what I want you to do. Now, one of the other things that I want you to do is to watch my masterclass, because in that class, I'm going to get you really clear on how to set yourselves up for a different experience. And so committing to getting that upskilling is going to be something that allows you to plan that experience more deeply. And when you are planning that experience more deeply, look at what you can do, look at what it feels like to be you, look at what it feels like to be in your relationship, and then create some goals underneath that's going to move the needle from the kind of coldness that comes from the alone and lonely and unzipped feelings into the warmth of zipped back up, reconnected feelings of love and appreciation and respect and solidarity, commitment, trust, happiness, pleasure, joy, connection. And you're going to look at, what do I need to do differently to get myself a different result? And most of the time, you're going to need to realize that some of the things that you've been doing aren't working. Some of the things that he's been doing aren't working. And we need a way to be able to talk about them and to design something that does fit you in a different way. So it might be a goal around that. All right, dear ones. So you are going to create this, but here is the exact thing that you need beyond what you already know about setting goals. So first of all, we're going for goals where you can feel them. So we've described before and after, and you can feel and hear the differences in what it would be like to live at a different space. And now what we need to do is to look at the dot points or the sub goals you're going to do in January, February, March, etc. And we're going to look at whether they make you feel sparkly, because there is literally no point in choosing something that doesn't deeply resonate with you. You will only end up throwing the towel in or not doing it. So if you go back to your list, and this is the really critical thing, the thing that no one talks about, secret weapon, I want you to look at what you've written down, and I want you to put your hand on your heart, and I want you to think and feel to yourself, is this something I actually want to commit to? And if it's not, well, we have a clue. And your job is to do some thinking around, why don't I want to do that? What is in my way? And in our program speak, that we call them the wrinkles, the things that are in your way that are not getting you where you want to go. And they're the things that deviate you from what you know is best for you versus how you actually show up. And so your job then is to get clear on that and to ask yourself, what do I need to be able to live in a place that would feel good and I can do this? And then I want you to meet that need. All right, dear ones, look for the things that light you up. Find, if you have a whole list of things that you know you need to do and they're not lining you up, then you have more work to do. And your job is to do what I just described until you have clarity, a clearance to be able to go forth and do them. And then you're going to start noticing and appreciating yourself every single day for showing up in the way that resonates with you and is moving you towards the life and connection that you want in your relationship. Now, the last caveat is if you want to do these goals and you don't want to do them for your relationship, that's totally fine. Just take out the focus on marriage and put the focus on self and do it that way. Alrighty, darlings, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you're planning for the year. Let me know what your dream is to create and to have. Don't forget to watch the masterclass. I love you. Happy New Year. I'll see you later, sweethearts. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into today's show. If you're feeling fired up and you're ready to grow and you want to know more about how to do that, here is what I want you to do now. I want you to watch my marriage masterclass. This masterclass will show you how my clients have turned their struggling marriages into thriving marriages, even without their husband's buy-in. How my clients have gone from cycles of poor communication, disconnect and loneliness to being teammates and soulmates with their husbands again, even after they've already tried everything. And the proven system my clients use to start transforming their marriages in minutes, not years, because life is too precious to waste one more minute in an unhappy and unfulfilling marriage. So if this is what you're looking for, I want you to click the link below and take a look at my masterclass.